Before I get started, obviously I've not made any videos recently. I've been away in the Caribbean. But boxing is a crazy sport and there is always shit to talk about every single day. And this was not something I thought would happen when I was away. And yeah, it's happened. Mike Tyson is fighting the problem child, Jake Paul. Obviously, my last video is about Jake Paul's joke of an opponent. I saw people commenting on that video saying that who do you want him to fight? And then bringing up examples like Canelo, which isn't really a good example because most Mexican fighters actually skip an amateur career and actually start the amateur career in the pro game and learn in the pro game. But what I wanted from that fight and why I made that video is I want Jake Paul to fight someone credible. And you saw in that fight that he was fighting someone grossly inactive and just blasted him out in like one round. So there you go. So that's why that fight was a joke, and I feel even more vindicated that I made that video. But anyway, yeah, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. So Mike Tyson, I believe his last fight was his last real fight was Kevin McBride, which was in, I think, 2004. And then prior to that, he was fighting people like Danny Williams. Obviously got KO'd viciously by Lennox Lewis. And yeah, that was the end of his career. He was done. Finished. Shouldn't have ever come back. But then he did come back, and it's not on BoxRec because it was an exhibition. It was just a little pantomime, I guess. It wasn't really anything at all when he fought Roy Jones. I want to say that was in 2020 during the COVID era because there was like nobody in the venue. But anyway, he fought Roy Jones. He looked old, obviously. So did Roy Jones. Both looked old. Just shouldn't come back into the ring. And I feel sorry for these boxers because this sport is not one where you can just come back and have a little couple games or two. It's not tennis. It's not football. This is a sport where you lose brain cells and they're coming back to consistently lose more brain cells. So Mike Tyson's going to fight Jake Paul, and I've seen the Mike Tyson fan base. They're a very interesting bunch, aren't they? Because they really buy into that mythological status of Mike Tyson. They believe that he would beat absolutely everybody. And not just in boxing, in the UFC as well, in MMA. Like, they really believe Mike Tyson is the hardest man in the entire world and would just KO everybody in his prime. Like, this prime Mike Tyson thing just needs to stop because the amount of times I keep hearing it where it makes illogical sense. Like, no, a prime Mike Tyson wouldn't beat Muhammad Ali. No, a prime Mike Tyson wouldn't beat Lennox Lewis. And, you know, people going on about that Lennox Lewis fight, like, oh, yeah, but, you know, Tyson wasn't in his prime. I mean, Lennox retired shortly after that fight. So, yeah, the Tyson Brigade are now saying that they believe Tyson's going to beat Jake Paul. Mike Tyson is nearly 60. I don't care how good you were in your prime. You're going to lose to a guy who is, 27 in Jake Paul? Who has been boxing for a good amount of years now. So even if Jake Paul is so many levels below a prime Mike Tyson, it doesn't matter because we're judging Mike Tyson as he is now, a guy that has been on weed for years and years, probably abused his body through, you know, alcohol and drugs. I know he's in good condition for the majority of his life, really, but it doesn't matter because he's been inactive. He's not been living like a fighter, has he? You know, he's Mike Tyson. He's a crazy man. So the Mike Tyson fanatics, they're really going to have a hard night watching this fight. And I think most people will have a hard night watching this fight because nobody in the boxing fraternity wants Mike Tyson to lose. No fight fan wants Mike Tyson to lose, obviously. But he's going to lose. It's as simple as that. There's no rolling back the years here. Mike Tyson is going to get KO'd by Jake Paul. That's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, he's going to lose on points. But that will go down. And that might actually go down on his pro record because from what I can see, this is an actual fight. This isn't an exhibition. It's on Netflix. It'll break records in terms of viewership numbers. So the entire world is going to see Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson. And that just doesn't really sit well with me. But I don't know, man. Money and getting back into the sport you love, they're two really big incentives for these fighters. And they're going to take it. But man, oh man, it's just such a shame. And anybody who thinks Mike Tyson's going to win, like, seriously, like, just, like, what are you going on about, man? Anyway, there we go. So that's Jake Paul's next fight. And a really tragic day for boxing.